All right. Welcome to terrific Terry Thursday at Saratoga, the spa where favorites, what do they call it? The stretches, the favorites graveyard or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, well, it's the graveyard in the afternoon of some of our picks. We got a little bit mixed up with all those scratches. So hopefully today, not so many. Well, we haven't gotten any late scratches to really mess us up, right? They're going to keep the stakes race on the turf. Everything else has been declared off the turf today. So they're going to run a lot of them at a mile on the dirt track today. Free tracks today, Belterra Park. You can get them in the description below for guaranteed tip sheet. You see right there, Belterra, 8 races. It's muddy there too. It seems like looking at this, there's a lot of rain across the country right now. So, hey, seems like it's been a rainy winter here. I mean, rainy summer here. I know you've had a hot summer over there, right?
Yeah, it surely has been. It's going to be hot again today.
When the show's over, head on over to horseracingtoday.net to get our comments as well as a replay of today's video. While you're there, hit on the HRT gear link. Make sure you sign up. Get yourself a wonderful lucky number 7 hat. This one's black and orange, Terry. Let's see. Does white and orange look good? That looks pretty solid.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't like the gray so much. What about a dark gray? That one looks pretty good. I kind of like that one. What do you think?
I like the white one.
You like the white one the best.
Yeah, that one.
That looks pretty sharp too, Terry. I can see you wearing that with a white suit, some white gym shoes out there doing a little bit of the sock hop.
Yeah.
All right. And then we're going to hop on over with some. I got shoes on. So usually I'm just in a pair of socks, but I don't know why I have my shoes on today. Shorts and socks and shoes. You got to love that's working attire, Terry. But let's get to work on race number 1.
All right. It's a 6-furlong race, claiming race, $16,000 claiming price, has a purse of $40,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards.
And at 6 furlongs on the main track, the profile of a winner favors tactical speed, but still, Jerome Bettis, 36% of the time they go wire to wire. There's a little bit of a rail bonus in here. 2 through 7 play under par. 8 and out is the best. I don't think we have 8 horses with the scratches in here today. No, only 4, I believe. Well, 5 horses, but really only 4 you can bet on. We do 10,000 simulations. We want to know who has the best chance to get to the lead. We mentioned about 36% go wire to wire. And then based upon our projected pace, how likely the horse is to be sitting on a race that fits right in its comfort zone. 10,000 simulations to see who has a chance to break or hit par for this level. None of them so far have shown the ability into our 10,000 simulations to hit a speed figure of 91 or more. That is the Briz Net par speed figure for the distance and class. And then finally, 10,000 simulations projecting out the winner, converting those to odds, looking for value, where hopefully our simulated odds are lower than post-time odds. Terry, sure does look like one of them is going to be hard to catch early on.
That's right. That 3-horse shows all the speed in the world, so really shouldn't have no trouble getting that quarter pole first. The 3 also has a very small overlay, which is about 2.25 to 1 to 2.5 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 3 to 1. None of them show par plus numbers, and all but the 1A show C zones.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, looking for 50% or more over here. So, looks like the 1 and the 3 and the 5 with the highest numbers. Along with all of our simulations, do some trip handicapping. All these horses want to be middle forward. The 3 and the 1A are pilots. The 4 can co-pilot or pilot. That's a really good situation to be in. No real pressure horses here. Again, the 1 and the 5, some versatility with the PC types. They can be forward, they can be middle, they can be back. No closers, no first-time starters, and everybody's been within 5 lengths, at least once, of the leader at the finish line. Early speed does belong to Chateau, a little bit quicker than all these other horses, but really not a big gap between top to bottom. Every 5 points equates to about 1 length, so Chateau should be about a half a horse in front of everybody at the start. At the end, Bronx Bomber, that one has about a 6-point advantage. That means about a length extra late speed compared to everybody else. Also grades out as our top total pace horse, just a little bit better than the speed. So you got 2 of them with the 1s. They're going to gang up on that 3, Terry. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I like the 1A Brock's Bomber. He finished third versus Tougher in his last race, drops in class today, and he has a high percentage winning train or jockey. Then I like the 3 Chateau. He finished second in his last race, has the highest last speed rating at today's distance, and he's best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I like the 4 as my third choice, Critical Threat. One has won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick, and the distance won't be a problem for him. And then the 5 is my long shot, drops in class today and can handle the distance. We have a $100 budget each day, and we bet $2 to win on our first choice, $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices, 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 choices. And then that's $8.40. We have 10 races today, so that's $84. Leaves us $16 left to bet wherever else we want to.
Indeed, we're going to the track with Ben Franklin, Benny, and my bets. I just figured out the name of our show, Terry. Benny and our bets. Benny Franklin and our bets. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to start off with the 3 horse in there, Chateau. Running for a new barn, by far, I think has the most upside in this race. Going to get to the lead, and then that C-Zone says should be very comfortable on the pace. Critical Threat, the 4 horse winner, as you mentioned, Terry, of 2 in a row. Big move forward is possible in the second up, according to its past performances. Then you got the duo, the 1 and the 1A. I prefer the 1A over the 1. Loves second place at the Spa. 8 times out, no wins. No thirds, but 4 seconds. This is another one that should bounce up in its second start after layoff. And then, well, Charging Arrow is the 5 horse. There's 4 horses in the field that you can bet on. Well, someone has to take that 4th position, so we'll go with the 5. And we have about 1 minute here before the first race. Yeah, it looks like they're about to start lining up. Tomorrow, I will be here with Thomas. We will do Foreign Fridays. That will be at the final day, or for the final day of the glorious Goodwood. I do think there are some, let me just double check to make sure, but I thought there were some Breeders' Cup win in your in races at that one. Let me just double check to make sure. Let's see. Well, I don't see them on the screen there, but there may well be. I'm not 100% sure. Of course, Saturday, a lot of big races, one of which being the Whitney at Saratoga, and then you have the Clement Hirsch. So those are 2 Breeders' Cup winning your in races on the weekend. Of course, we'll have all of that covered and a lot more over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Again, use the link down in the description when you go over there to get your picks. All right, Terry, there are kind of walking around right now. The 1 and 1A are your co-favorites at 6-5. Next up is the 4 horse, Critical Threat. That one is 5-2. The 3 and the 5 are both 3-1. So you're not really getting much in the way of betting odds here. It does look like the 3 horse Chateau is the only one affording much, if any, value. Our basic simulation odds are 5-2, and you are getting 3-1. The 4 horse, about the same, 2-1. And you're getting 5-2. So the 3 and the 4, if you're looking for value, those are the 2 that provide a tiny bit.
Yep.
Not a whole lot in there, but I guess some value is better than no value, right?
That's right.
The sun is out. You do see some shadows. The track doesn't look at all like it has any moisture in it, so I'd imagine it'll play fast. Maybe a little bit of moisture in the track. So
Yeah.
And we got a couple of horses going in. Got a few more to go, and then the race will be off and running. Right now, the 3 is the longest shot on the board now. So they say in 4 horse races, take the longest shot on the board. So
that's right.
3 with that early speed. In other words, the bettors think this is a very competitive opening race.
Yeah, he could go out there and never stop. They could maybe not even catch him. So,
and they're off, and they are running. And Terry mentioned the 3 horse could get off. We did have the mention as the 3 horse as the one that would be your likely pace setter. He has indeed taken to the front to get going. Doesn't really look like he had to work all that hard to get to the lead, though. It does look like He's running pretty hard right now as they head into the turn. Opening half in a little under 22.5 seconds, so maybe a little touch on the fast side. You have the two favorites, the 1 and the 1A. They're in the back of the pack, so they got a lot of ground to make up. The 4-horse trying to make its third win in a row. That one's kind of tailing off a little bit as the 3-horse is extending its lead a touch in here. Coming around the turn, around the corner they go. Right now, they got to make up a lot of ground if they plan on running down this 3-horse. Does look like its stride is shortening a little bit, but really nobody making up a lot of ground on this horse at all. So it looks like the 3-horse, Terry, what did you say could happen?
He could go out to the front and never look back.
Well, and guess what he did?
He went out to the front and never looked back.
Yes. So when Terry makes such prognostications, make sure you hop on that horse. And that was the only really value in the race. So that was the one to bet. That was the one that won. So let's move off to race number 2 and see if we can continue with Terry's succinct wisdom. Hold on, I'm going to move this over here because this is out of place.
Ready?
All right, race. I'm almost ready, Terry. Things are a little bit out of order. I got to get things back in order like a good court. So go ahead. Race number 2.
Okay, it's a 5 furlongs. I think it's been moved off the turf. It's a big pardon?
Yeah, the only race that remains on the turf is the stakes race.
Okay, well, this is a maiden $100,000 purse, and it's for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
So 100 grand maidens, special weights. These should be good horses, Terry. That's usually what you get, but they are 2, so they can be a little bit crazy at times. We don't have any data for 5.5 furlongs on the dirt for a profile of a winner, but we do have our simulations in this case.
Hey, yeah, we do. Sorry about that. Let me get where I'm supposed to be here. Yeah, the 9 shows a small overlay. I mean, speed.
Got a chance to get to the lead. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, but they all show some kind of speed, but the 9 should beat them out. And then the 2 shows an overlay from almost 6-1 to 10-1. None of them show any kind of par plus numbers, and the C-zone numbers are all there, and most of them are fairly decent.
Yeah, a lot of them borderline 50, so it's a race that should be comfortable for everybody. In terms of the race shape, well, the 5, 6, and 7. And just to give you go back a little bit, what we do when there is no data is we just take the average for the first-time starter. So if they run the average race, that's where they would position themselves. The 1 and the 2, they want to pressure. The 9-horse has not been within 5 lengths of the leader. I mean, just looking at this, you might just want to focus on the 3 first-time starters. As far as our early speed is concerned, it does look like Frostel and Side Eye, they're the ones that'll go to the front. At the end of the race of the experienced horses, Side Eye does have the most late speed, along with Zeca Diablo. And those 3 line up just like that in terms of our top total pace. Terry, is it going to be a first-time starter for you, or is it going to be a horse with a little bit of experience?
Well, I like the 2-horse Mum's Poem. He's a first-time starter who's breeding.
That's the 5.
I'm sorry, the 5. Yeah, I meant the second race, but 5. And he's a first-time starter whose breeding suits today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like the 1, Side Eye. He's got a high percentage winning jockey and trainer and a good 4 furlong workout on July 27th. The 9 is my third choice. Finished third versus Simmer in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and has 2 bullet workouts in a row. And then I like the 7, Letter Perfect. He is a first-time starter whose breeding suits today's sprint distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'll play the first Miami Vice pick 4. We use the 1, 5, 7, and 9 with the 3, 8, 9 with the 4, 8 with the 1, 3, 4, 5. I think that's a $48 cost.
I'm going to change my pick 4 a little bit here because I notice I'm only missing 1 horse, the 6 horse. And if I don't put him in, guess who's going to win, Terry?
The 6.
Yeah, so I have the budget to do it because we have $50, folks. So I'm going to go all in mine, but I'm going to start off with Mom's Poem too. A lot of these horses really can't hit par as we see in our par plus score. I know at least Kendrick was going to push this horse for the lead, and if he gets it with decent fractions, maybe he can go wire to wire like we just saw in the opener. Number 2, Zeca Diablo. the second choice. Only horse in the field that so far has actually got a par figure on its resume. Side Eye, the one horse, should push forward as well. And it is a horse that has a chance to be a little bit better in the second start after a layoff. Finally, Letter Perfect, the 7 horse is my final choice in here. Does have the best breeding trainer combination for first timers, but the workouts, Terry, are that's a way to describe them. They're just okay. I'm going to go all over the 8. I'm going to single the 8. I'm not going to do all 3 horses in the next leg. I figured you either do it the way you did it, Terry, where you pick all in the 3-horse race, or you just take your chances on one of them because you still have a 33% chance to be right.
Yeah,
I'm going to go 3, 7, 8 over to 1, 3, 4, 5, and 9. So that's 6 times 5 times 3. That's 90 divided by 2. Might
45.
be $45. Yeah. Let's go off to that 3-horse race in race number 3. Why do they even bother?
I don't know. Well, they took it off the turf. 1 mile and 3/8 is probably going to be 1 mile. Maybe no, I guess
know. I think it's still a mile and 3/8.
Yeah. Optional claiming rate 62,500, a purse 115,000. And it's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 20,000 twice other than maiden claiming starter or state bred allowance, or which have never won 3 races or optional claiming price of 62,500.
So a lot to think about for just 3 horses, Terry. But of the 3 horses that are in there, in order to win, well, they haven't really run very many at this distance. So they only mentioned that the horses tend to be forward in routes. So in our 3 races, Terry, we do have 1 horse that does look like it has a really good chance to get to the front.
That's right. That 8 horse shows all the speed and could get to the front and go all the way again, just like the one did in the first race. The 3 also has an overlay from 4-1 to 8-1. The 3 has the par plus number, and the 3 and 8 show C zones.
Yeah, as far as our race trip is concerned, I think you're going to see that the 8 horse, they're all kind of bunched up against each other. The 3 and the 8 have some versatility. So if you look, I think this is where the big tactical edge in the race is. Ichabod, as we saw in our simulations, does have at least a 2-length lead over the other 2. So and Jose is usually pretty good about getting out to the front. Got a good ticker in his mind. Peak Popularity does have the top total late pace and is your top total pace in here, horse, by almost 10 points. Usually enough to get the W. I have some concerns about that 3 horse. That's why I didn't rate it first, Terry. Why did you pick the 8?
Well, I liked her because she finished 3rd in her last race as a favorite, but she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 3 Peak Popularity, I almost put this one on top, but made my mind up to the 8. But she won her last race at Aqueduct, and she has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. 9 toned up to my 3rd choice, ran 2nd on the dirt in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. No additional bets here for me.
Yeah, we actually have a little extra money today, Terry. Extra $2.40 because we don't have a superfecta here, and I don't know that they're going to have a trifecta either. So we might actually have a few extra bucks to bet.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyhow, I think Ichabod does have that tactical early speed. Going to get to the lead right away. And I don't think he should have a problem doing that. And as I mentioned, Jose usually has a good ticker in his mind. I also flirted with putting the 3 horse at top. Last time out, ran in a 2-horse race, so knows how to win in these short fields for sure. I think it won by like 18 lengths. I mean, was I running against that other horse? Anyhow, but my concern is, and this is my concern in race number 3 for the 3 and Peak Popularity. So you see here that the horse had off from October to June, right? So the easy math says that's more than 5 months.
Yeah.
5+ months off. And then it came back to run a peak speed figure, right? That 100 is just light years ahead of anything else that the horse has done.
Yeah.
And when some research shows that when horses have off 5 months or more, in this case, that's a plus, and they run a peak speed figure, that's for sure. There's like something close to like a 90% chance That's a pretty big chance. So let's just go 75% chance that the horse regresses, and perhaps a lot, in the second start, off the layoff, off the peak number, off the 5 months off the break. That's why I downgraded it over and put the 8 horse in front of it. Otherwise, It did great out as the top horse for me. And then toned up, as I mentioned in the first race, with only 4 horses. Somebody has to be third of 3. That leaves the 9. Probably we should have both put it at the front of our tickets.
Yeah, well, I used it in my pick 4. So.
Yeah, well, you did the all. I took a like I said, took a stance there. What do you like, brother, in this career about doing horse racing? It's fun. It's like solving a puzzle every single day, right? You know how some people like to do jigsaw puzzles?
Yep.
I figure this is sort of like a jigsaw puzzle where you can make some money and not just soothe your brain.
That's right.
Off to the 4th race we go in a 10-race card today. Terry, this one stays on the dirt.
Yep, and it's a 6 furlong race. It's an optional claiming race, $45,000 claiming price if you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed. The purse is $100,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, pulled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry, which have not won $20,000 twice, other than a maiden claiming or starter, or which have never won 3 races, or an optional claiming price of $45,000.
Unfortunately, Juan, mi español es poquito. Number 4 at 6 furlongs, what we're looking for in the profile of a winner is tactical speed. But again, a bunch, 36% of them go wire to wire. There is a rail bonus. Pompous Prince could get that advantage as I pop my peas. 2 through 7, they play under par. 8 and out really is the best place to be. So you got some speed on the inside or speed on the outside. You got a good shot, and it looks like everybody has some chance to get to the front here, Terry.
Yeah, they all do, but the 4 and the 3 has the most, and so they could go head-to-head to that quarter pole. The 1 has an overlay from 4.5 to 1 to 15 to 1, and the 8 has an overlay from about 7.5 to 3 to 1. 8, 1, 4, and 7 show par plus numbers, and all but the 5 have C zone.
But all the C zones are well under 50%. So again, stressful race maybe for most of these horses. Half of the horses want to be on the lead. Half of them want to close. You have 1 horse in here. That's an EP type. Boy, when you see a lone EP type in a field like this, you better put special attention on that one and see if there's any reason why you think it can win. Early on, Jack and Bernie going to come out of the gates with some heat. There's a lot of them that'll be right on Jack and Bernie's tail to keep it up, to keep it honest. As far as the end of the race is concerned, Caldo Candy with a pretty aggressive late pace advantage, almost 2 lengths better than Pompous Prince, the popping P horse. And then at the end of the race, Caldo Candy is about a length better than the Speedster. So do you want a EP type or the E type, Terry?
I like the 4, Jack and Bernie. Finished in the money in 7 out of 8 career starts and won 6 of those starts, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like the 8, Caldo Candy. Won his last race at Saratoga. His early speed running style will help his chances. And he has the highest last speed rating. He's actually tied with another horse. Then I like the 7, Key Point. He finished 3rd in his last race as the favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 31% of the time. When bringing back a beaten favorite to race again, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 1, Pompous Prince. He won his 3 races out of the last 4 starts, and he has the rail, which is winning at a 23% clip. No additional bets for me here either.
I'm going to go with the 8 horse Caldo Candy. Very steady performer in here, Terry. And as we saw in our pace setup, the horse should sit right off the lead and then use that major late speed 2-length advantage over the rest of the field. If that horse is sitting second right on the tail of the leaders as they come down the stretch, there ain't no holding that one off. Key Point. If this one is ready, has the most back class, workouts prepping are good, but nothing great. The 3 horse, Dafuski Island. I hope I got that one correct in its pronunciation. This one has a chance for either a big pop, which is what I'm counting on, or a big drop, which is what the anti-backers are counting on in the second up. And then finally, Your top pick, Jack and Bunny, comes in from Finger Lakes. I feel like Finger Lakes to Saratoga is a track rise. I've seen too many of these track risers come into Saratoga or Tier 1 tracks and watch them perform in the first half of the race, but then quality takes over. I'm going to put 10 of my 16 bucks on that 8 horse to win, and hopefully it does. Not 16, 10. Yeah, 10 of my 16. Greetings. How are you, Richard Duran? Nice to join us. Thank you. Appreciate that. First time I'm going to play with this race course, studying the races. I should be 1 or 2. The number 1 with Gaffleon. All right. Good job there, too. Didn't have, but I like Bright Leaf and Loretta Lynn at Del Mar. All right. Keep an eye out for that, folks, from Horse Racing 2024 for this year. On to race 5 as we touch on the middle parts of today's August 1st card to start the dog days of summer. Terry, what are they doing here?
It's a 6.5 furlong maiden claiming race, $30,000 claiming price, $45,000 purse for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
Yes, and in order for these state breds to get their first W in the win column, well, there have been 4 races so far at the distance. 1 of the 4 saw the leader get to the front and stay there. Stalkers otherwise won the rest. You had 1 win from the rail for Good Mission. 2 and 3 didn't get any. 4 through 7 got a win, and 8 and out got a couple of wins. So it looks like if you're on the outside, you might have a little bit of an advantage in there, Terry. Some speed, particularly tactical speed, will do well, serve a purpose. And we do find 1 in here again that's going to be blasting when the gates open.
That's right. That 4 should come out of there pretty good. May have some competition from that 6, though. None of them show any kind of an overlay that I can see. And then number 5 has the only par plus number. All but the 3 and 8 show some kind of C zone, and especially that 6 and that 9.
Race shape for these youngsters trying to score that first W. Well, Good Mission going to give it a go for the first time. Otherwise, balanced race in there. The 6 and 7 got some work to do to get within 5 lengths of the winner. That's why they're in there. They're the no contest types so far. The 4 horse is your lone P horse in there. So sometimes those Sesame Street horses, the ones that aren't like any of the others, have a pretty good shot. At the beginning of the race, Ariana Rye, along with Sonia's Flame, the ladies with the lady names, going to get to the front. Pretty good advantage over everybody else. I would say Ariana Rye wants to lead. She can take that lead to the inside. The 5 and the 9, they want to be up front. If they don't get the lead, they could become discouraged. At the end of the race, Going for Glory and Mary Union Avenue will be going for glory. Does look like that 3 horse might have a little bit of an edge over the 9 in terms of being out in front and going to run a race that fits its style a little bit better. At the end of the race, the speed horse, Ariana Rye, and the closer, Going for Glory, along with the other closer, Mary Union Avenue, who wants to be on front. Kind of confusing in that respect. Terry, straighten it all out.
All right. I like the 5 Dancing Liana. She ran second versus similar in her last race. She has a highest last race speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 4 Ariana. Yeah, right.
You know, like the singer, Ariana Grande.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 25% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race. And her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. The 3 Going for Glory is my 3rd choice. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race. And then my long shot is 1 Good Mission, which is a first-time starter whose dam has 1 winner from 2 starters, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. No additional bets for me in here.
All right, I'm going to go with the 5 horse 2. We got the same 2 in the beginning. Dancing Liana and Ariana Rye. I put the Dancing Liana on top because it's Dave Portnoy's favorite jockey, Dylan Davis, and he just missed at this level last out. Improves enough today to get another win for the smoking hot Dylan Davis with all of that barstool backing. Ariana Rye, the 4 horse. That one's a maiden special weight dropper. Scares the living daylights out of me because this horse is clearly better on the dirt than on turf. And so far, this horse has run at nothing short of 7 furlongs. So cutting back in distance with all that early speed for the MSW dropper could be the key to the winner's circle. Good Mission. This one's making its first start. The back bullet is there, ran 4 furlongs in 47 and 4. Terry, you know what that is?
Fast.
Yes, fast. You're a fast learner too, so I love that about you, Terry. Rob Atras does win at a very high rate for this trainer. Debut in the maiden claimer at 22%. Keep an eye out on that one. And then finally, I'm going to go with the 9. Mary Union Avenue is the only other pure maiden special weight dropper in here. That maiden special weight drop should move that horse forward where it wants to be, and then does have that late pace to close it out at the end of the race. Like you, Terry, no bucks to put into any of our betting at Benny's today. On to, let's see, Kamash rested very badly against 2 favorites pending with him. Yeah, Kendrick kind of needs that front, I think, more often than not. He likes to be on the lead, and I think that's where he's most comfortable. When he gets up there and he gets a pretty good pace, he usually can execute. So keep an eye out. When Kendrick's forward, and he told us that when we had him on our Players Edge podcast, along with our Horse Center show, he says he likes to be up front. So when he's up front, that's when he's most dangerous. Terry, let's be dangerous in our picks in race 6.
All right. Well, it's a 1/16. I think it's off the turf now, and it's a maiden race, $90,000 purse. For maidens, 2-year-olds, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
Yeah, 2-year-olds going a 1/16. But that's a pretty good run usually for them to get their careers cooking. So at $1.16 on the inner turf, not there. So they're not going to run on the inner turf whatsoever at all. No data there in terms of what the 1/16 on the dirt looks like. So we'll get to our simulations, Terry, for race number 6 to talk about who's going to be on the front. And it sure looks like one of them is the one to catch once again.
Again, yes, the 3 horse has all the speed in the world. The rest of them, or most of the rest of them, show some kind of speed. The 3 also has a very small overlay from, just a little, not really. It's almost
properly priced. Yeah.
The 8 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 7 to 2. 8 has, and 3 have par plus numbers, especially the 8. And all but the 8 has the C-zone numbers. So, but most of them are pretty low.
Yeah, all tiny in there for sure. Our race shape for these to get their first W2. Man, look at that, Terry. 10, 12, and 1A going to make a first start against a bunch of horses that want to be middle back. The 9 horse, Vamonos, has done anything but Vamonos so far. The 3 horse does have some versatility, shown that it can run forward in the back. 4, 8, and 11 want to close. Usually you get a shape like this. Horses that get towards the front, they have a better chance than those at the back to win. Does look like McDiesel will be coming the fastest out of the gates. Hey, Richard Avenue, he's going to be up there too, Terry. And as far as our late speed is concerned, Iron Max will be coming with the maximum late legs, about 3/4 of a length quicker than Sky Masterson, but could be as much as 2 lengths in front of that one. So the 8 horse of the closers, definitely with the biggest edge. At the end of the race, well, you got Iron Max, McDiesel, those 2 well above all the other experienced horses, about 2 lengths better, as a matter of fact. So the question is, can one of these 3 first-time starters damage either the 8 or the 3? Terry, how do you see it?
I like number 4, Richard Avenue. He ran second versus Simmer in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer, Todd Fletcher, and he has a high percentage winning jockey, Irad Ortiz. Then I like the 3, McDiesel. He ran second versus Simmer in his only start as the favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 17% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. Iron Max, the 8, is my third choice. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. He has the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then the 9, my long shot, is a first-time starter whose dam has 2 winners from 3 starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me here.
So I'm going to go with the 3, McDiesel, to get to the McLead and keep it. Typical second race improvement for this horse would be more than enough, I think, for the others to have a difficult time beating it. If not, Iron Max closed well in its debut after a brutal beginning. That was at 5.5 furlongs. So that stretch out today to a mile should help a lot. Mile and the 16th, actually. So actually extra 16th for those late legs. If you get off to a better start, could be hard to keep that one in check at the end. I'm going to go with the 1A as my next pick, Revivalism. The July 13th workout on Saratoga Dirt, where they're running today. 4 furlongs and 47-3. Terry, that's...
Oh, it's fast.
Yes, indeed. And that was breezing from the gate.
Yeah.
That suggests that horse has a little bit of talent in that guy. And then finally, number 12, Real Savvy. Some solid, steady works for $350,000. First-time starter for Christophe Clement. Now, when I think of Clement, Terry, I think of turf racing, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And he wanted in this race on the dirt. Something tells me he thinks he's got a horse here for the dirt.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a try 1-3-8 over to 3-8 over to 1A 3. I tried so hard to put my namesake in the race, Terry, with the 4. That's why I bet the trifecta so I can have it the back end with the 8 and the 12.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to tell the truth, right?
You do.
Yes, wow, Terry is going against the grain with the 4. Yeah, it's good though. Terry got that 4-horse, Richard Avenue. In which race? What do you mean in which race, Mr. Duran? What are you talking about? Let us know so that we can answer that question. Well, this will start the second of the pick 4s, the late pick 4 this afternoon in race number 7, lucky number 7, Terry. And again, another one that's on the dirt, so no worries about all those scratches and stuff.
That's right. It's a mile and 3/16, and it's an allowance race, $25,000. And it's a purse of $60,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less in 2023, 2024.
And at this distance, Mr. Terry, there's no data at a mile and 3/16 at all. So once again, we just have to work off of our simulations. So tell us, what do you see in race number 7?
Okay, well, that 7 shows a lot of speed again, followed up by the 8. No other speed in there except for maybe a little bit from that 3. The 4 has an overlay from almost 4-1 to 5-1. 7 has an overlay from 3-1 to 12-1. 6, 3, 7, and 4 show par plus numbers. They're all pretty close. And then all but the 6 and 8 show really nice C-zone numbers.
And as far as our race shape is concerned in the lucky 7th race, look at that horse out here, Terry. Bar 14. Loney, boy, when you see him, everybody wants him. Everybody else, middle back. If that 7 can get to the lead, we saw in our simulation, best shot to get to the lead. We see here it's also more than a length faster than everybody else out of the gates. Bar 14 is one that you have to really keep an eye on, folks. Even if you don't like the odds, your handicapping says, maybe he's a middle of the pack type. Look out. Those Loneys find themselves in the winner's circle way more often than not. St. Andrews, Complete Agenda, Mystic Knight, they'll all be coming at the end. Bar 14, that speedster, way back down there. So he's going to need proper fractions to get it done on the lead. St. Andrews, along with Mystic Knight, they're a little bit better than everybody else, but you can just see they kind of tick down. You have in between here and there only 9 points. So a lot of distance in there to be covered, but a bump or a tough start, get forced wide, it could be the difference between finishing first or completely out of the money. Terry, who's going to win?
Okay, I like the 3 on Esprit. Won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then the 2 Complete Agenda is drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey, and should improve while returning to dirt. The 4 Mystic Knight, my third choice, ran second in his last race. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a good 4 furlong workout on the 25th, and then 6 is my long shot, St. Andrews. He ran second in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the second pick 4 Miami Vice Don Johnson. I'm going to use the 2-3-4-6 with the 2-3-4-9, single the 5, and I'm going to finish up with the 1-3-4-7-9-15. I believe that's a $48 ticket.
I'm going to go with the 3 on Esprit just as well, Mr. Terry. On Esprit, I think this one's coming in from Churchill Downs. Been off since May. Yeah, it's a little bit. The workouts are only okay. But the thing that caught my eye is that Michael Maker and Irad Ortiz, the jockey trainer combination, they actually have a positive ROI. And it's kind of tough with Irad, always getting the backing of bettors to get a positive ROI. So we'll put that one on top. Number 4, Mystic Knight. Plenty of Saratoga class for this one. A couple of nice workouts between races. And that's after showing some better early pace through the first half mile. Usually an indication of a horse on the rise. Complete agenda. The 2-horse, second to last time he ran at this level, Mr. Terry, and does have triple-digit ability in terms of speed figure numbers. So you get that much coveted 100. Finally, number 7, Bar 14, as we talked about in our pace setup. This one has a lone E potential. He's sitting out there all by himself on that left-hand side. Really big chance to be on the lead. Pretty strong C-zone score as well, meaning should be comfortable out there. Kind of hard to pass on that. 2, 3, 4, 7 to start my pick 4 with the 3, 9, with the 2, 5, 7 where Terry's gone solo, and then 1, 4, 7, 15 on the back end. Looks like we have a couple of minutes here as they mill around heading towards the post for race number 2. In race number 2 right now, Side Eye catching the favorite status from all of the bettors. That one is 2-1. And then what means to claim a horse? I heard that Brad Cox only claimed 61 horses out of 3. It means you can go buy them when they're running in claiming ranks. And I think he only claimed 31. And he wins at a pretty big rate when he does it. So keep an eye on that when Brad Cox does indeed claim. Along with the 1 horse, you have the next in the favorite status is the 9 horse. Frostel, who I don't even have. So I got him in my pick 4 as part of the all button. So we'll see how that plays out. Then you have the 6 horse, Speed Figures, another one that didn't make my pick. So I love that. I'm doing great, Mr. Terry.
Yeah.
The 5 horse, the one we both put on top, Mums, is 11-1. So we kind of both hope our top pick wins.
That'd be nice.
And then nobody else really over 10-1. So in any case, that's what that looks like. This is what free picks looks like. Head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet for Belterra Park. Free races today in the muddy track with 8 scratches, only 1 jockey change. Hopefully we win plenty of dinero over there at Belterra. Again, as the show's over, Terry will post all of our picks today along with our comments and a race replay. HorseRacingToday.net, where if you click on HRT gear, you can get the white version of the number 7 hat. Looks fantastic. I kind of like the dark gray version a little bit better. So why don't you make your vote and go out and pick up a white or dark gray number 7 hat. And then again, tomorrow's 4 and Friday. Join us for Glorious Goodwood's closing day. Mr. Terry, they're about to go in race number 2. But before they do that, what should folks do to make sure they don't miss our Glorious Goodwood show or next week when Terry tries to hit another $5,000 pick 4 at Ellis?
Well, they should subscribe to YouTube and hit that little bell so they're notified about all our programs. Go down and copy the link and share it with all their friends, relatives, and neighbors so they can come and check us out. And then go to our social sites at Facebook, YouTube. I'm sorry, Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, and give us a thumbs up. TikTok. Go to Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us a thumbs up and a like. That really helps us. And then any comments that you can do or anything you can give us picks really helps us also.
All right. So the 6 horse in the second race has jumped out to the lead. Kendrick did not push him up. Well, that 4 horse didn't get pushed forward at all. The 5 horse, he's out of the race. So our top pick is, well, he's not running today. Right now, you have the 6 horse on the lead. Speed Figures, the 9 horse. The 2 horses I don't have trying to wiggle their way up into contention right there. Probably want the 6 horse to win, Terry, but it does look to me like the 1 horse is going to run by the 6 horse at the end. Although speed did hold up in that first race, the 6 horse is hanging in there. Come on, big fella. Find those late legs and get yourself to that finish line first. But it's not going to happen. Of course, when you hit the all button, the favorites win, Terry.
Yeah.
Doesn't that always work like that?
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Should have just stuck with the 1 horse. All right. Side-Eyed is your winner. The bettors at Saratoga sniffed that guy out from 6-1 down to 2-1. We both advance in our pick 4s. We certainly would have liked something at a little bit higher price to do well, and certainly would have liked for the 5 horse to do something other than take the day off.
That's what he did. Certainly did.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, let's not take off race number 8 and then move along to the last 3 races of the day, Terry. Another one where you have plenty to read to satisfy the conditions.
Yep, it's a 1 mile race. It's an optional claiming race, $45,000 claiming price, purse $100,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards. Foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State bred registry, which have never won 20,000 twice, other than maiden claiming or starter, which have never won 3 races, or optional claiming race of 45,000.
Oof. All right. After all of that, the way that you win at a mile is much simpler. You got to get into a good stalking position, although 17%, so a fair amount, do get to the front and keep it. Rail is fair, so Cicio Bello. I mean, that's probably how you pronounce that one. Gets a fair shake at that rail. 2 and 3 get a discount. 4 through 7 is the best place to be. So far, no Buffalo Girl on the outside has won from 8 or out. Terry, again, another race where everybody but the 4 horse with a chance to get to the lead, or the 9.
That's right. Most of them have some kind of speed, but that 10 shows the most speed. And then the 3 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 4 to 1. The 10 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 6 to 1. 10 and 3 show the only par plus numbers, and all of them have C-zone numbers, although a couple of them are pretty low.
I really wanted to stick that 10 in there too, because it is, much like we saw with the 7, a lone E horse. You do got some pressure, though, in here with these others, but still, you can see how fat the backside of this is relative to the front. The only reason I hesitated on putting the 10 in there like I did with the 7 is because it doesn't have the most early speed and a lot of speed to its inside. So the 10 might not actually secure that lone E position, might find itself in a pressure spot, which usually discourages the lone E types. As far as the late speed is concerned, the PC in here, Cut the Cord, Brew Pub, Jackson Heights, but a lot of them with plenty of juice to finish out the race. This looks like a very competitive spot in here, Terry. Look at how many horses that are within, 6 points within a length of each other. Yeah. This is really going to be trip dependent. Don't get stuck wide. Don't get boxed in. Get yourself in a good position. You got a good chance to win. Who will get the best position and the W in your view?
Well, I like the 3, Dr. Kraft, finishing the money in 9 out of the last 10 starts, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 2, Shadow Dragon, is my second choice, ran second in his last race, has the highest last speed figure at today's distance, and he has a good workout on July 26th. Number 9, Cut the Cord, is my third choice, won his last race at Aqueduct, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like is my long shot, Jackson Heights, the 4. Finished in the money in 3 out of his last 4 starts, drops in class today, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets in this race for me as well.
All right. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to go about rolling with the 3 horse like you, Dr. Kraft. I think this one's just going to get a perfect trip with the way this race sets up. And nearly a perfect match to the track bias. And then it gets IRAD. So, IRAD's going to position this horse correctly. I feel like this is a positional race, and IRAD probably does that better than anybody else. Cut the Cord, the 9 horse, is the second selection for me. Does have a win and a place, and the win in next 2 races at Saratoga was at 1 mile, just like today. And it was the biggest, most convincing victory of Cut the Cord's career. Number 2, Shadow Dragon. It's the right distance for an in-the-money finish, not necessarily a winning finish. 6 races, 4 seconds, and a third. Hasn't found the winner's circle yet, so maybe it finishes third today. And then the one that's so easy to pronounce, Cicio Bello. I think I got that right. Any Italians out there, let me know. Chance for a major bump higher in the second round off of the bench. Today, like you, Terry, no additional bets. So we move off to race number 9, where Terry will make his play of the day, and it is the beginning of the late daily double.
Yeah, that's right. It's 1.5 miles, and I guess they're going to keep it on the inner turf. It's a grade 2 race, and it's a purse of $250,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward.
Well, the reason they have to keep this one on the grass is because it is a graded stakes race, and to maintain its graded 2 level, they do have to run it on the grass. Well, I guess if it was really horrible, they might make an exception, but they haven't really run any mile. They did run 2 so far at 1.5 miles on the turf course. And both races were won by co-pilot types sitting in like the 3rd position. So believe it or not, tactical speed does do well. You kind of middle posts do the best, Terry. So do we have any tactical speed on the middle in race number 9?
Well, not really. The one they all have some speed, but that one shows the most speed, followed up by the 2. And then the 1 has an overlay from 5-1 to 8-1, and the 7 has an overlay from about 4-5 to 2-1. And then all but the 4-5 have par plus numbers, and they all have C zones, although the 7 is a little bit low.
The 5, yeah, I mean, its numbers coming over from Europe. So again, you have some basically looking at the averages for that guy right in there. In the race shape for the 9th race, you do see the 1 and the 2 want to get forward. Everybody else can 3, 4, and 5 with the ability to either keep the 1 and 2 honest if they go too slow. If they go too fast, they can be patient and try to keep the edge on the closers at the end of the race. In the beginning, it does look like Royal Interest. The 2 horses, your fastest, although McClintock, the closer, should be forwardly placed today, Terry. Those left arrow horses tend to perform very well. When the race is coming to a finish, Alpha Bea, Atomic Blonde, they're about 3/4 of a length faster than everybody else down the stretch. Your top 2 total pace horses are the 2, Royal Interest and McCulloch. Yeah, that 2. They're a little bit better than Alpha Bea. And then Eternal Hope, the Foreign Invader. Terry, the favorite, Chop Chop, way down that list. Well, the second favorite, the co-favorite. Who's your winner?
All right, I like the 5 Eternal Hope as my first place horse, and it's also my pick of the day. Since coming in from Europe, she's won a grade 3 and a grade 2 race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Like the 7 is my second choice. She likes Parks Racing. She's finished in the money 80% of the races, winning 40% of those starts. The distance won't cause any problems if she won 100% of the races that she's ran at today's distance. The 3 Chop Chop is my third choice. She finished in the money in 9 out of her last 10 starts, winning 3 of the starts, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 6 Atomic Blonde is my long shot. She's having a good year, finishing in the money 66% of the races and winning 33% of those starts. And the day's distance, she's been in the money 100% of the time, winning 25% of the starts. I'm going to bet $10 to win on number 5, and then a $1 exacta box 357.
I will go with McCulloch as my top selection. Look at that par plus number right there, too. That horse off the charts there. Very strong chance. And not only does the horse have a great chance to run a number well above par, but the horse is running at the distance for the 3rd time and won the first 2. So really seems to prefer that 1.5 miles. And then the last time she caught some softer footing, won that race too. So the footing shouldn't matter. Eternal Hope, with the track only be listed as good, you notice in its past performances that good tracks, the horse has performed very well. So I think that 5 horse does have a chance to score for Terry's best bet of the day. And of course, Charles Appleby, that guy only brings over quality stuff trainer-wise. Number 2, Royal Interest, tends to do its best work off the bench, does have some sharp workouts prepping, and as you saw, also grades out as one of the top total pace horses, right up there with the 7. And then finally, Atomic Blonde. This one maybe not your winner in there, Terry, a Tom horse, but this one has some brilliant late speed at times. One thing that kind of held me off a little bit from Chop Chop is I think the horse could be due for a little bit of regression as it's run 3 consecutive peak speed figures in a row. A lot of times horses do back up a little bit off of that pattern. The last race of our week, Terry, is the 10th race at Saratoga. What's going on here?
Well, it's 1 mile and 1/16, and it's taken off of the turf. It's going to be on the regular main track at 1 mile. Excuse me. It's a maintenance maiden claiming race, 40,000 per 50,000 for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, pulled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
Once again, the state breds to win at a mile on the main track. They got to get themselves into a good stalking position, get to the lead. You still got a good shot to win at wire to wire 17% of the time. Miss Leao should get a fair trip on the rail. 2 and 3 might find the work a little bit more difficult. 4 through 7, that's the best place to be. And boy, if you're on the 8 on the outside and you manage to win today, you'll be the first one to do so. Terry, where's the speed at?
Well, the speed comes from that 15. That outside horse has the most speed, although it's not fantastic, but it's a lot better than most of the others in here. And then that 1 has an overlay from about 6 to 5, or 7 to 5 to 9 to 2. And then the 1, 7, and 4 show par plus numbers. And then 7, 3, 14, 1, and 15 show C zones.
And the last time for this week, we'll take a look at how the horses stack up early on. Look at that again, Terry. What do we see? We see another lone E out there with the 15 right in that as well. So those two get to the front. They got a good shot. 4, the 10, the 11, the 14. Boy, those guys have not been within 5 lengths of the leader so far. They might have their work cut out for them to get to the winner's circle today. 1, 3, and 9, they want to close. The 8, Wicked Rhea, going to give it a go for the first time today. See this shape? Again, get to the front. You got a good shot. Welcome Back, Babe, about a length quicker than everybody else. Dance on Air, the not within 5 lengths type. We should keep that one honest, but still plenty of speed to its inside that it's going to have to clear. So I think Irad will definitely push that one out to the front. At the end of the race, Miss Leal, the 1 horse, that one has a little bit of a speed advantage over Pamplona Red. If Pamplona Red on that E-horse can get to the front, it might be really difficult to outrun that one to the finish line. As far as our top total pace horse, that does go to the closer, the 1. Really not going to be all that far off the pace here. You got this 5 horses right here that are considerably better than these 4 here. I'd imagine, well, statistically speaking, the winner should come from that top half. Terry, who did you put at the top of your ticket?
I like the 15, Welcome Back, Babe. Ran 3rd in her last race. Has the highest percent winning trainer who wins 26% of the races when taking a horse up 1 class. And she has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like number 3, Bomb Squad. Ran 5th in her last race as a favorite, but she has a high percentage winning trainer who brings back beaten favorites and wins 27% of the time. And she has a high percentage winning jockey. Dance on Air, the 4 is my 3rd choice. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and the trainer wins 33% of the races and route races in his 2nd route race, and he has a horse competing in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Just Heart, the 9's my long shot, drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey. The trainer wins 22% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race and can improve at this longer distance. No additional bets as I'm out of money.
So Pamplona here, Terry, is the one that is going to get the lead for me. Pamplona Red. That is that lone E-horse we saw there is a pure maiden special weight dropper. Only a couple of them in the field. Has some early speed to burn. So that one I think will be out front challenging Welcome Back, Babe. Miss Leal, the 1 horse, getting a 2nd call for me. If that one just can run back 2 races, it would indeed live up to those simulation odds. And that giant par plus score right there. Welcome Back, Babe. Outside post hurts. Irad helps. 3rd at this level last out. So hasn't shown it can win here. The 2 maiden special weight droppers, biggest class drop in racing. And the other pure maiden special weight dropper is that 4. Dance on Air for trainer Chad Brown. I think he's trying to sell this horse, but nonetheless, he probably wants to collect the check on the way out the door. No additional bets for me as well. And that wraps up this week. Here are all of our picks for today so far, Mr. Terry. Any final thoughts from you before we get out of here and try and enjoy the weekend?
Well, I just hope everybody has a really good day today and a good week finishing up, going into the weekend. I hope the weather stays calm for everybody and don't have a problem. And I hope that you give your loved ones and friends a good comment about how you love them and feel about them as you did. Know things can always happen that you don't expect.
Yeah, indeed. Life can happen in an instant, good or bad. So let's all hope for the good. And again, tomorrow, Thomas and I will be right here for Glorious Goodwood. You don't want to miss that. Some big races over in England, and usually some big fat long shots tend to win on those tracks. We hope to have them in our selections. We also hope to see you again on Monday when Terry and I return for Ellis Park. if they're running on Monday. I haven't really checked, but I think they are. Tuesday, we'll probably do Horseshoe Indianapolis. Wednesday and Thursday, I know Wednesday Terry will be here. We'll do Saratoga. We'll see how things fly on Thursday. Until all then, we certainly hope that you have God's grace and God's favor as you chase all your dreams, Terry, and most importantly, that every single thing that you do today, tomorrow, and every single day ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us this terrific Terry Thursday. See you tomorrow, and Terry will see you on Monday.